This weekend during my comedy show, I had to stop the show halfway through and get taken to the hospital by ambulance. Why did it happen? Let's find out. So this is unfortunately completely true. On Saturday, I was doing my solo show as part of the Barcelona Fringe. We had a week-long run of shows, and this was my last show of the whole run. It was at 6:30 on Saturday, and I was feeling very good. I'd had an amazing run of shows, the whole of the Barcelona Fringe. This is my last one. Get to the venue in very high spirits. I'm ready for the show. I know it very well. Turn up, there's about 30 people in the audience, which is great for me, and start the show. And the show starts off amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. It's brilliant. It's the best I've ever done the show. I've done the show maybe about 15, 20 times right now. I don't remember. But this is the best that it has ever gone. And I say this not to make myself sound good, but this is an important detail for later, that the show was going well, all right?
Not the sequels. They were definitely made by the devil. They were
So I'm going through the show and everything's going absolutely amazing. But then just before about halfway through the show, I noticed that I'm kind of like struggling to, I have to take in a breath to get a sentence out. Every single sentence that I'm saying, I have to breathe in quite deeply. I'm sort of running out of breath, which doesn't normally happen ever.
Jeez, I'm losing my fucking breath up here.
So I just thought, normally I'm quite like a high energy guy, so I thought maybe I just overdid it a little bit. So I sort of pointed this out to the audience. I was like, maybe I've been moving around too much, but I was finding it a little hard to catch my breath here. Sort of a laugh at it. And then I carried on, and then it started getting worse and worse. I found it harder and harder to catch my breath, and I was only able to get a few words out. So then I sort of stopped and paused, and the audience kind of realized that something weird was going on, and so did I at this point. So I grabbed a chair and I sat down because I thought maybe I've somehow overexerted myself. And I got another couple of sentences out while I was sitting down, and then my brain sort of just went, something is very, very wrong here. And I said to the audience, I said, look, I'm really sorry, but something's not right here. I need to stop the show.
If anyone asks, the show was amazing, 5 stars. Guys, I need to out for a little bit. I'm really sorry, guys. Thanks for being...
When I did that, someone in the audience shouted out, Tommy Cooper, which, if you don't know, Tommy Cooper, British comedian, very famously died not only on stage, but live on television. And when he said that, I thought that was quite funny. But then I also thought, man, he's going to feel really bad if I do die on stage, you know? But anyway, so then I go into the green room in the back. I sit down. By that point, I am in a massive panic because my breathing is very, very, very difficult. I start feeling very dizzy. I'm pouring with sweat. I'm so hot. I'm completely soaked in sweat. Lovely audience member Jodie is a nurse. Came into the back room and comes and sits with me. Starts doing some deep breathing, things like that. Takes my pulse. Sort of checks that it's okay. But I feel like I'm going to faint. I feel like I'm going to die, basically. At that point, I'm like, this is the end of it. They call an ambulance for me, which the ambulance, if I might be paraphrasing, they said, unless he's blue, it'll take about 25 minutes. So I just like to say, fuck blue people, all right? Also, this is one of the reasons why evolution is bullshit, because the symptoms for having a panic attack are exactly the same as the symptoms for having a heart attack. One doesn't do anything to you. One kills you. Evolution. Shit. So we're sitting in the back for a while. I'm still just an absolute mess here. I'm still struggling to breathe. Eventually, ambulance people come. They check my oxygen levels and my blood sugar and all this kind of stuff. The Javi from the clubhouse now kindly gives me a can of Coke as well, just to make sure my blood sugars are okay. They take me in the ambulance to the hospital. The audience, by the way, at that point have to sneak out the back door of the venue because it's downstairs and there's another show going on upstairs, and that would mean 30 people would have had to have walked through a crowd of another show going on. So they sneak them out the back entrance of the comedy club. They take me in the ambulance to the hospital in Raval or whatever it is. And then they asked me what happened. So I explained to them, I had this thing. I was on stage performing and then I couldn't catch my breath, and then I started overheating, all this kind of stuff. And then I basically thought something very, very serious was going wrong. But on the form that they filled out, what they wrote was, in Spanish, they wrote that I had anxiety while I was on stage and began sweating. And that was basically it. Here's the thing. I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years, right? I don't get anxious on stage or before at all. And the show was going amazing. Like I said before, it was one of the best ones I've ever done. There was no anxiety going on in here at all. But the way that they've written it on the sheet of paper, it makes me sound like I'm shit, right? It makes it sound like I went on stage, told some of my wee little jokes, and the audience didn't laugh, and I couldn't handle it so much that I had to run off stage and get an ambulance called to get me out of the building and go to hospital. So it means that on that sheet of paper, not only did I bomb comedically, I also bombed medically as well. And that's on my record forever in the hospital, that I'm a bad comedian. Anyway, they do a whole bunch of checks on me in the hospital. They put up the ECG, electro whatever thing like that. It turns out everything was totally fine. Everything was okay. They checked absolutely everything and there was nothing wrong. In fact, I'm actually, if anyone knows me, bizarrely pretty healthy. And then I was just sort of left to go home. That was it. The strangest thing is that during my show, I talk about the only other time that I've had a panic attack. I had one about 5 years ago because I had too many cups of coffee. And it was as I was starting that bit is when I ended up having this whole thing happen. So the question is, what the hell happened? The short of it is, I don't really know. It kind of came out of nowhere, but it was definitely a panic attack of some kind. But like I said before, the gig was going amazing. I was feeling amazing. The show was going brilliant. So there was no like mental thing going on here at all. So the only thing that I can think is happening is I've been very, very busy over the last number of weeks. I was on tour for 2 weeks. I was doing a show every single night, traveling around Eastern Europe. I was sleeping on people's couches and things like that. Probably wasn't getting enough rest. And then the day that I came back, I was straight back into my actual full-time job, plus the Barcelona Fringe Festival. So I was doing a show every single night as well for about a week and a half as well. So I think for probably about 4 weeks, I basically had no rest whatsoever. And even though the mind was willing to go on with the show, I think my body just went, nah, mate, you've had enough. So I think my body just sort of abandoned me and left me to have to run off stage. So that's what happened. Totally fine now. I think I'm just going to take a few days off from now. But yeah, if your body tells you that it's tired, take some diazepam. Solved. Oh, and thanks to everyone that came to the show and to Nurse Jody for making sure that I didn't die. And for all the comedians out there, don't be too good a comedian, or like me, you might end up in hospital. See you next time.